in the days of Queen Esther, who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Esther 4, verse 14. When Cyrus issued his decree in favor of the Jews returning to their homeland, the majority of the Jewish exiles had settled throughout the Medo-Persian Empire, and they chose to remain, preferring present comforts rather than hardships of restoring their desolated homes. 20 years later, Darius Hystaspes issued another decree, as favorable as the decree of Cyrus, supporting the return of the Jews. Zechariah urged those Jews scattered in many lands to respond. Meanwhile, Xerxes, the great king, and Jew-hating subordinates were assuming new powers. Jews who had not responded to the first two decrees now faced death. Satan worked through Haman, the Agagite, a high official in Xerxes' court. Haman hated Mordecai and determined to kill him, as well as every Jew in the empire. But through God's providence, the queen Esther, a Jew, although that fact was not known, in the crisis, Mordecai challenged Esther to carry out a plan that would reverse the death decree against the Jews. I don't know if it reversed it. It was still applied, just applied to Haman specifically, but distinction without a difference, I suppose. Which Haman had engineered with the king's blessing. The queen's plan worked. The king countermanded his earlier decree to kill all the Jews throughout the empire. Haman was executed, along with his family. Mordecai was given the position of honor formerly occupied by Haman. The trying experiences of God's people in the days of Esther cast a long shadow forward to the last days. The death decree that will finally go forth against God's remnant people will be similar to the one issued against the Jews in Esther's day. Today, the enemies of the true church see in the little company keeping the Sabbath commandment a Mordecai at the gate. The reverence of God's people for his law is a constant rebuke to those who have cast off the fear of the Lord and are trampling on his Sabbath. When God calls us to a difficult or unpleasant task, it's easy to ignore his will and remain in our comfortable circumstances, i.e. Jonah, as did those Jews who remained in Medo-Persia. Happy Sabbath.